wondering why a cosmetic doctor is talking about makeup, the reason is because I've been seeing an increasing trend in younger girls wanting to have cosmetic injectables. I'm very anti this, for many, many reasons, and we'll talk about that another time. But I wanted to not always say no, and probably come up with some kind of an alternative that they could use, something that they could do, essentially to mimic what I achieve with my injectables, whether it be refined noses, more cuts, jawlines, whatever it may be. It's important to also say, I don't think anyone needs to do anything. So, from a moral point of view, this is just a bit of fun and trying to show you that there are techniques you can do to avoid younger girls having injectables. So, to do this, I have enlisted two incredible guests. I have with me, number one, Mary Greenwell, who is an international, world-famous, world-class makeup artist. She's worked with the world's biggest supermodels. She's worked with actors and actresses on the red carpet, and really is the Bible of all things makeup, and pretty much what she says goes. In addition to that, we have my niece Maria. Maria is also someone who is deeply passionate about makeup and has her own makeup tutorials on YouTube, so be sure to check her out. And she's kindly going to, well, through a slight family favour, help us put this together. We're filming from Burlington Arcade, which I don't know if you know, it's one of the most historical landmarks in terms of shopping malls in the UK. It was built in 1808 or 1809. It was designed by someone called Samuel Dunn, who was an architect, and it was commissioned by Lord Cavendish, who was also the Earl of Burlington, hence Burlington Arcade. Fun fact, he actually built this for his wife, who wanted a safe place to shop. I want a safe place to shop. It was my arcade.
Where do we talk, my darling? Into which camera?
So,
just do that if you want to, and then we can have a different
great.
way.
So, ready?
Where are we chopping?
Down from feet.
Okay, so.
Where are we chopping?
So, just beneath your bosoms.
Mine or hers?
Both of them.
Okay.
Right. So here we are. This is InstaClinic 6, the one about makeup. The reason this was important to me and important to Mary as well is we've noticed a quite worrying trend of younger girls wanting to have injectables. They're not suitable, they're too young, they should enjoy their youth and their beautiful features. But, we don't like to leave people out. So this is kind of about giving them a couple of techniques to recreate what I achieved through injectables. And I know, Mary, you think that the base of this is, well, let's talk about your views on this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, because of Instagram, which is, of course, a wonderful tool we all love and use, I feel that people have gone too far into wanting to create themselves to look like this, sort of the perfect Instagram image. When you're young, so often you might have, unfortunately, you might have bad skin, but so often people have beautiful skin. They don't need to wear foundation. They don't need to wear too much makeup. They just need to make themselves look a little bit better than they feel about themselves already. So I just want to show a few techniques. And youth is a wonderful thing. Enjoy it because it goes. So enjoy it while you can. I'm going to start with foundation. So I'm just going to use a very, very light foundation because, again, Maria has beautiful skin. This is just like, in this case, it's just the sort of perfect base to everything. Now, it looks a little bit too pale, but that's great because I'm going to work it in. And I want to bring out the paleness rather than the darkness in her skin immediately. Once it's rubbed in, it's actually not too pale at all, as you can see. I use my fingers because it's the quickest. Simple as that. And also I find sponges very messy because they hold, obviously they hold bacteria, and they're also very messy in your makeup bag, but this is by far the quickest way of doing it. So this is Code 8 gorgeous tinted moisturizer, which I simply adore.
Mary, how do I hide blemishes and scars?
For that I'm going to use a Code 8 concealer that is the same colour as the foundation. This one. So again, but I'm not going to use a sponge tip. I'm actually going to use my little brush, and I'm just going to use actually just a little bit on the chin, and then just massage that in. Imagine if we actually had a pimple on her chin. And I'm going to go around the corner just through the nose, which often needs a little bit of help actually, a little bit of lightening through here. And then I'll just lift this corner here a bit. So I'm using this concealer. It's the same colour as the foundation. This is Code 8. Okay, so right now, look straight ahead, my darling. So right now her skin is looking immaculate, but still really youthful, really young, really gorgeous, without looking too made up at all, okay?
How do I conceal dark circles under my eyes, Mary?
We all have dark circles under the eyes. Even children have dark circles under the eyes, actually. So, when you're a child, you're obviously not going to worry about this. But I do think that that's one thing that's very, very easily dealt with a bit of concealer. The Clé de Peau concealer, which is the best selling concealer in the world, underneath the eyes. Again, it's a cream concealer. I'm using my fingers. I'm just going to use it under the eyes, and I'm just going to pat it on underneath the eyes here. It is, as you can see, 1 or 2 tones, depending on how you vary tones, paler than the foundation tinted moisturiser. And then down onto the nose a bit. So even though you might think you have a big nose, I'm just doing this to blend this into the skin. Blend this into the foundation so it's seamless. So everything becomes seamless. Sometimes people have, which people think is a flaw, and sometimes it is, very dark corners which you can lighten with concealer. I'm going to take this little fluff brush. This is a really good brush for concealer and for blemishes. I'm just going to take this into the corner, look down. Great. I'm just going to take it right into the corner here. Look up, sweetheart. Just to lighten that corner. There you go. You can see how it's just taken away any shadow in that corner. But you can see how our eyes are now slightly more, if you like, and I give more width to the eyes.
How do I create a smaller nose?
It's called a contour, okay? I'm going to take this down the side of the nose. It is made for the nose. It's the most incredible application and product. So I've gone straight down the side of the nose, okay? I'm going to do the same on the other side. Draw your head down a bit, my sweet. Now I can blend with this, but I'm not going to. Because I am by trade a makeup artist, whatever that might mean these days, because everyone's so good at makeup. I want to be able to do a trick that I would do on my clients. So I've literally shaped the nose and taken off the end of the nose, okay? I'm going to blend that in with this brush here. Turn it down a bit, my darling. I'm just going to blend it in. So it won't show at all. Fluffing it in very gently. Okay, a Barbary crown, and go straight down the center of the nose. To highlight nose, and I'm going to feather that in too with a different brush. I'm just going to feather that in. So that's the nose more shaped. Can you actually see that on the camera, darling?
This next question came in French. Comment augmenter les pommettes? Which means, how do I make my cheekbones higher?
We all want more defined cheekbones, so I'm going to teach you how to do that, or not teach you, show you. There's a product by Surat that is the perfect contour colour with a perfect highlight colour, and that's what I'm going to use now. Now, using the contour colour, from just in front of the ear here, down onto the cheek. So what you're doing, hold it strong so it doesn't drop, don't worry. I'm literally going to take it down and take it slightly up onto the cheekbone. So it's always like a slightly bendy shape. Do you see? And do not take it on the cheekbone at all. Just take it down under the cheekbone, not onto the cheekbone. From the ear, down onto the cheekbone. Okay, so there's a slight, it's like a spoon shape there, okay? And I'm going to blend this in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to literally blend in the corners so it looks seamless, and so it looks like your cheek is actually this shape without any showing of the contour powder. So it becomes seamless.
Mary, how can we show our followers how to create a sharper, more defined jawline?
With the highlight colour, this colour, I'm going to use I'm going to use the same brush. Shall I tell you why I'm using the same brush? First of all, it's like, how many brushes can you have? How many brushes do you want to walk around with? But secondly, if you use the products properly, you won't have enough excess on the brush to really worry about. So I'm getting what I would use professionally. So because I want this to be a fast, easy video, I don't want it to be like, oh, I haven't got the right brush. Just you can use the same brush, just make sure it's clean enough to use again with a different colour. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this colour now down the side of the jawline, down here. So now I brought the jawline out here by using this colour. Same the other side. I'm going to now create a better jaw using the contour colour. So going back to the contour, the dark colour in the palette, this one. Thank you, baby. So just turn this way so maybe the camera will pick it up more, my darling. Great. So back behind the ear and then down through here. You can actually see that really well. Okay, so back and then onto the jaw. So there we go. Now I'm going to blend that in. Down, not up, but down. So now the face looks defined. So the cheeks are defined, the jaw is defined, and the nose is defined.
How do I create a fuller lip without using injectables?
Lip liner will always make your mouth, it'll be two things. It'll perfect a mouth that isn't quite perfect. In other words, if one side is slightly bigger than the other and you want to make both sides equal, obviously you can make your mouth any size you want with a lip liner, but what you don't want to do is make it look unnatural. So again, take it to the very limit, but don't take it past the point where it would look unnatural. Victoria Beckman's brought out some lip liners that are astonishingly good. Clever girl. And I'm going to use lip liner and lipstick, and then we'll go back to the eyes. So, using lip liner. This mouth is extraordinary, so I'm just going to fill this in with a lip liner. So I'm going to take the lips right. I'm using the lip liner before the lipstick so I can take it as far as I need to go. This is a very 90s colour. This is a very a la mode colour. It is very, very runway. You know, most of the shows this year, for the last couple of years actually, because the Instagram look has been so strong, like every feature brought out, most runway looks are all about like one feature, and a lot of them are about just gorgeous skin in the mouth. I love this. Mascara is my favourite product of all time, but I just love this look of nothing on the eyes and the lip. And gorgeous skin. Especially on someone as beautiful as Maria.
Thank you.
Now, lipstick-wise, I'm taking a Clé de Peau colour, which goes perfect with this, and we'll just give that really modern lip of the moment, which is sort of like earth colour and an exaggerated lip colour. Open a bit more, my darling. Perfect. Right, now rub your lips together. Back and forth, back and forth. I tell everyone to do this. No one can believe how keen I am on rubbing lips back and forth, back and forth. It's like the best way to get the most exaggerated line you can possibly have of your own, a natural lip line. And I'm going to take the lip line again. And just make sure, I'm just going to go over it because this is such an important detail, because we really want the mouth to look natural and real and big. And also, it's quite fashionable at the moment. As in the 90s, 80s, 90s, when lip liner actually showed, it's actually quite fashionable again to have that lip liner slightly showing. So don't worry about that. Just sort of, it's to give a fuller, fabulous mouth. No lip and no eye look. I think it's fantastic, especially on you, baby, because you're so beautiful.
Thank you.
How do I create a fuller eyebrow that won't melt in the heat? That was the question.
So what I'm going to do is, here's the brown eyeshadow. I don't want it to be much darker than this. I only want to fill in a tiny weeny bit. And I'm not going to start here because I'm too frightened to make it too thick and too heavy. So I'm going to start somewhere in the middle, like here. And it's a perfect colour. So it doesn't really show at all, as you can see. So I'm just defining the brow a very little, The brows are such a perfect shape, but I'm just going to give them a little bit more density. I think brows aren't as, I don't think the whole Instagram thing about this brow thing, I think is slightly over, in my opinion. So I'm all for softening the brow and making them look more quote unquote natural. This colour is perfect. So you can see one brow from the other, and just how this one looks a little bit thicker, a little bit denser, but not in any way heavier. Just brush it through. And then look straight ahead, darling.
Who wants to know how to make their eyes look bigger?
Okay, the biggest trick you can do to create enormous eyes is mascara. It is like, do you agree?
Yeah.
Mascara is everyone's go-to tool. It is amazing, but I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to use this underneath the brow bone. Also, I'll brush the brows again later. Draw your head down a bit, baby. So I'm going to do a very modernised sort of, there's lovely pink colours that are around at the moment a lot. I'm going to use, actually I might use this palette for the whole eye, but we'll see. I'll mix the two, I'll mix the brown and this. I'm going to go to the pale sort of, the pale taupe, the sand colour. Just brush that across the entire lid. Close, baby. So I'm using the sort of the darkest coral pink here. Just brushing that on the lid. Open, sweetie. Head down a bit. As you can see now, every colour is really playing up. It's really, there's a response with every colour I'm putting on. I have no fear of what I'm doing, and you mustn't either, but just know you have some kind of idea before you start, and then playing with makeup is the best thing in the world. Thanks, darling. So I'm just getting a lovely, these gorgeous colours that are happening so big time right now, these kind of rusts and reds and... Thank you, darling. Use the dark brown. So working on the outside corner will expand the eye the most. So now I'm going to start working on the outside corner only. When you've gone this far with makeup, you've kind of actually would be silly not to have mascara because it will add that extra glory. And for me, it's the one, it would be my Desert Island product. So get the mascara right into the roots of the lashes. That's really important. Look that way, my darling. Look up. I put it on quite clumpy in mascara because I didn't care, because I love it that way, and I love the way it just, you know, we're not photographing for an ad for Brit mascara. So I love the clumpiness. I love the relaxation of that clumpy mascara look, and I love the way it actually brings your eyes out even more. So don't be fearful of having lovely, clumpy, thick lashes. It's a great look. So wand going back and forth, vertically, holding the wand vertically, going back and forth horizontally, of course, but holding the wand vertically. This is really good, this mascara, it's a Code 8. I want to bring out the size of the eyes even more, and probably the darker the colours you go at the roots of the eye, the larger you'll make your eye look. So I'm just going to bring out the eye a little bit in the corner. Close, baby. Great, so you can just see how it just brought out the eye bit. I'm not going to do more than that, but just how it's expanded the eye even more, okay? and just literally just brush a tiny bit in the middle of the forehead only. There, just to set that. And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit of powder around the side of the nose. Just here, just where it can get a little bit oily sometimes for people. Just down the center there. We've created a beautiful face here, and I hope you like it.